Matsu-san. First of all, my sincere thanks to Dr. Swada-san for really giving me this opportunity to come here and be part of the book launch, which the title itself is so enticing, which talks about the miracle and also about the challenges. And I have benefited immensely from the depth and the knowledge that is in this book. I'll try to keep my presentation short, but presentation I can see that has actually benefited a lot from what has been written in this book. So if you really look at Bangladesh, Bangladesh is really a land of opportunity. And the reason I call this as a land of opportunity is because it has a rapidly growing young population of almost about 1.5 to 2 million workers coming and joining the workforce. That is a big number. Also, if you look at the economic growth rate, which is talked about at 6.5% for the last 10 years, and this year the growth rate that we are predicting is to be around 7.7, 7.8%. Not only in South Asia, but this is one of the best numbers in Asia, and which clearly reflects that it has had a robust economic growth. It's really a country that's doing very well. It also has surpassed the lower middle income threshold in July 2015. This is the World Bank, and also it has attained the first eligibility for graduation from LDC under the UN in this year, March 2018. The GDP is now over 250 billion and growing at a really robust rate, clearly reflecting that the per capita has been increasing and people at the bottom have been benefiting. The poverty rates are down almost to less than 24%, 25%. And if you look at some of the other numbers, even the external debt at 11% of GDP is actually quite reasonable. And the exports have been growing as well as they have had some good numbers in terms of human development indicators. There are challenges, as the book had reflected, and I think that meeting those challenges is really important when it comes to institutions like ADB. For us, if you really look at Bangladesh, Bangladesh has a huge locational advantage. If you look at this map, with India on the three sides and the sea on the other side, Bangladesh is really the gateway to the east. It is also the gateway for India. India, as you probably know, is about a $3 trillion economy, expected to grow to 2030. So Bangladesh can become a gateway for the ASEAN to India, and similarly for India, a gateway to ASEAN through Bangladesh. It has that opportunity. The second picture, which is really about Bangladesh being a land of rising sun, and also a land which has good rivers, and a land where you can see that the people are very happy and a lot of women are participating in both the employment as well as making the country a forward-looking country. In terms of the strategy for the ADB in Bangladesh, as Dr. Swada had mentioned, we are looking at higher, inclusive, and environmentally sustainable growth. And underpinning this is the two elements that were talked about. One is the economic diversification. Which is really about taking away from the RMG side. If you look at the ready-made garments, it really accounts for almost 50 billion worth of their exports. So what we would like to see that they are able to have more into the IT, more into the leather ship breaking industry, and also going more into some other elements whereby the economy can diversify. And on the second is the balanced regional development. Now, in terms of the country, Dhaka and Chittagong, the two main cities, almost account for 60 to 70% of the country's GDP. There are other regions which need to be developed, and we did recently a study which showed that southwestern part of the country, if it gets developed, it can add about 150 billion to the country's economy. So balanced regional development and economic diversification are two of the pillars that are underpinning this growth story. In terms of our strategic objective, the first is about easing infrastructure constraints. And as was mentioned, if you really just visit Dhaka, you have such a congested Dhaka. If you go from Dhaka to Chittagong, a distance of 250 kilometers, it takes you 6 to 8 hours. Infrastructure constraints in that country are quite demanding. The Chittagong port is choked. So easing the infrastructure constraints is a priority. Investing or improving the human capital is the second area where we would like to invest. We believe that with 1.5 to 2 million people joining the workforce every year, if we can build the skill set of this new generation of workers that are coming in, the country can accelerate its economic progress. The third element will be the economic corridor development, which is more about really benefiting from the location advantage of Bangladesh. Improving the rural livelihoods is more about how to get the agrarian society into the mainstream, and they're investing in the agro-based industries. Also, smart agriculture can help. Similarly, providing the climate and disaster-resilient infrastructure and services can help escalate this in the economy of Bangladesh. There are a couple of other very important thematic objectives that this strategy is looking at, which is really about how to enhance the private sector participation. Today, the FDI is only 0.6 to 0.7% of the GDP. This needs to improve. For this, we need to provide an enabling environment which can be given through by addressing the institutional capacity constraints and improving the governance. Deepening regional cooperation and integration and promoting gender diversity are also some of our key objectives. In terms of our sector focus, transport, energy account for almost 50% of our focus. And if you look at education, agriculture, and water and urban, these are also the areas where we are invested quite heavily. If you look at the historical achievements, we had a $20 billion worth of 279 loans since the bank started its operations in 1973. Currently, we have about 8.5 billion worth of projects in Bangladesh. If you look at how it has been growing, our approvals have gone up from 1.1 billion to 2 billion last year. Commitments have gone up from 1.5 to 2 billion, and contract awards have also increased from 700 million to about 1 billion, and disbursement from 600 to 857. Overall, this year, we are expecting to lend more than 2.2 billion. So the program is growing, and also the diversification of our projects is also increasing. In terms of the kind of projects which we do, if you look at this pictures, it is from the power sector, generation, transmission, distribution, to the bridges, to the rails, to the building of the cities and the urban areas. In terms of the human resource development, we are looking at primary education, secondary education, technical and vocational educations, and skills development, because we believe investing in human capital is the future for Bangladesh. In terms of the agriculture and rural development, we are looking at agro-based industry. We are looking at enhancing the role of the agriculture in the economic development. Moving forward, the bank has adopted a new strategy, which is called the Strategy 2030, which seeks to achieve prosperous, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable Bangladesh by enhancing its connectivity, by expanding the power generation capacity and regional interconnection. We are actually looking at having some regional power trade agreements, India, Bhutan, and Nepal. We also wish to modernize urban areas and services by investing in Dhaka, Chittagong, Khulna, Jessore, and other cities. We also hope to facilitate regional cooperation and integration by exploiting the locational advantage of Bangladesh. We have a SASEC operational plan, South Asia Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation, which will help that, and we will be strengthening the support for the human capital development. If you really want to look how our program is evolving, we have a country operation business plan 2019 to 2021, which details the kind of programs and projects that we will be undertaking over the next 3 years. The main focus for us is that we want to bring together with finance, knowledge, and partnership to Bangladesh that can help Bangladesh move up the ladder chain. So what are the key messages just to conclude? Bangladesh has made good progress and continues to do so. ADB is a valuable, reliable partner for Bangladesh. We have given more than $21 billion worth of loans and about $300 million of TA money, and we will continue to contribute to Bangladesh's economic and social transformation. Friends, it has been a pleasure really to be here today, and I hope that after 10 years or 15 years, when Dr. Swada will write this book again, ADB will be in this story. Thank you very much.